So a run of disappointing results has got us rethinking how easy this would be, and we are going to have to look to make additions to the squad in order to get to where we need to be at the end of the season. So, like we saw yesterday, we did get knocked out of the FA Cup by a low league opposition, and follow that up with a disappointing loss against Peterborough Sports, who were lower down in the table as well. So, with that, we have decided to go for a change in formation. We were using a wider system before, and despite it having early success for us, later on in the season, chances going into the box weren't getting scored, and we were really just wasting the two strikers up front. With this system, we have kind of been able to put in some improved performances, but results have been inconsistent. A 2-1 win against Hereford with a 93rd minute winner from Mongoy. That was the first time we'd used this tactic in a competitive match, and yeah, it was nice to see a little bit of spirit shown by the players to get that late goal. Then followed that up with a 4-3 loss against Warrington. That was away from home, but again, another quite spirited performance despite the loss. A good solid 3-0 win against Kings Lynn. They were flying quite high in the National League North, and we managed to go there and really just put in an inspired performance. Couldn't complete that in the next game though, with a 2-0 loss to Chorley, and we have seen the goal, or possibly a goal of the season contender for us. Henry Sandat, he's a new name on the team sheet. We have signed him on loan from Hull, not paying any wages, but the one and only goal he scored for us so far was very reminiscent of a young Wayne Rooney. He picks the ball up and then he cuts inside, and just the shot from distance, cracking off the crossbar and getting into the net, that secured us the win. But he looks to be quite a good addition to the team. In his first game against Kings Lynn, he did get 2 assists and just led the line fantastically. So we're going to hope his form can continue. We have also seen other changes in the squad as well. Gary Little, he was on £1,500 per week. So we really had to get rid of him to be able to sort out the financial issues that we were having. We are looking to move on some more players as well. But at the moment, we are back below the wage budget. You may see that the committed spending is a little bit higher. That is because we are lacking a bit of depth in the defensive area at the moment. So we have made an offer to bring in Harrison Solomon. If we can get him over the line, he would be a very, very solid signing for us. But his competition from elsewhere, so we're going to have to hope the lure of South Shields can bring him to the club. Elsewhere in the squad, we have put a few players on the transfer list. Dylan Morse, Luke James haven't really featured much in the first team at all, so they've both been offered out for transfer, along with third choice goalkeeper Callum Dobson. No one really has come in for any of these as of yet, but with there being no transfer window in the lower leagues, we're hopeful clubs will come in at some point. And Robert Briggs as well. He's the more experienced of the players, but with the wages he is on £700 a week, that could definitely be better invested elsewhere. Same with Luke James, he's another one on £700 a week. And for players which we aren't playing very much, we definitely need to remove those wages from the bill to be able to improve the squad where we really need to. All in all, that little run that we have been on, we are 9th in the Vanarama National League North now. A win today would take us potentially into the playoff places, but at least above Rush Hall and back to 8th place. Is still a lot of games to be played, but we do need to start picking up points to make sure the gap doesn't extend too much. Blythe at the top of the league, really running away with it. There's a fairly hefty gap between them and us now, so probably thinking the playoffs is what we're aiming for. And like we say, need to start picking up points in order to do that. today's opposition, Tamworth, they are in those playoff positions, so we're going to have to hope for a win so it isn't another team that is breaking away from us. We do have the home advantage, and the squad that's going out for this game: Boney's in goal, Lefudu, Clark, Broadbent and Simpson at the back. Asani, Kesse and Smith make up a midfield three with Gomez ahead of them in the attacking midfield position, and we have got the two up front with Martin and Sandat. Like we say, Sandat has been playing really well, and the other strikers, just inconsistency is really costing them their position in the team. Martin, he's just the one to try out at this point in time. Mongoy had a decent little spell, but has really fallen off the boil the last couple of games. So this is the team that we are going out with, and I do think that we can go out and get that win against Tamworth. Like we say, we are at home. With the form we have been shown recently, this is a game that we should win, and then we'll probably lose the next one. We're going to hope that we can break that streak though, and hopefully get a couple of wins on the bounce in today's episode. Starting off, and has been no highlights as of yet, but in the first 10 minutes we've had a couple of shots. The first highlight though, Tamworth are on the ball. Riley in a central midfield position gets it back to Milnes and he plays it forward, but Broadbent's there to intercept. Gomez not able to find a South Shield shirt, and that allows Tamworth to come back up the pitch, but that header's not going to trouble Boney and drifts slowly over the bar. Another highlight begins, and again it looks like it's going to be a Tamworth attack. The match stats show that we have had more in the way of opportunities, but like we say, in the game that we had against Rushall not long ago, all the actual attempts fell to them despite the apparent domination we had in the match. So we're not really creating many clear-cut opportunities at the moment, which is a concern. It is something which we have been doing a little bit more in the past few games, and maybe one now. Sandat breaking down the box, manages to get it into Martin, and he puts it into the back of the net. But Sandat, yet again, he's proven to be quite an inspired signing, only 18 years old, coming on loan from Hull. But the impact that he's had so far, contributed at least a goal per game in either assist or hitting the back of the net himself, and has just brought that little bit of extra quality to the front line, it seems. Martin profiting from it there. He's got his 7th goal of the season, but with his age and the wage that he is on, he is another one which I am considering looking to move on anytime soon. Really just want to start making my own mark on this team and seeing if we can improve, and I think some of the players have realised that and have upped the game a little bit. If Martin can do that, there's a chance he can stay up. Smith as well, since he's come back from injury, he's played a big part in this team. Him and Kesse are forming a nice little partnership in midfield, and like Briggs, he managed to score himself a nice little free kick a couple of games ago, so we're going to hope that can continue. Martin gets his 2nd goal of the game. Kesse with a nice little drive and run forward, but unfortunately he got dispossessed. But Martin made no mistake picking up the ball and driving this left-footed effort into the bottom corner. It was a great finish from him. We see him here pick it up, but then being able to see the little gap to the keeper's right-hand side and bury it into that bottom corner. I think he's heard us talking about him, and now he really wants to stay at the club. He's earning a nice wage here, so he wants to make sure that he keeps earning that wage. As long as he keeps scoring the goals like that, then he can keep earning that wage. It is going really well for us. Like we say, Tamworth, it is a team that we wanted to beat, to make sure the gap between us and them didn't grow too much. If we can keep up this level of performance up until the end of the season, or at least go on a little run where we're keeping up this level of performance, that would be great. Changes need to be made now though. The game's coming thick and fast, so we want to make sure players are remaining fit. Woods can come on in midfield, and we will take off João Gomez and bring on Motley Henry. Motley Henry really needs to be trained to play in that central attacking midfield position, because we don't use wingers now. He's really finding opportunities limited. We are trying to get him used to playing in the central attacking midfield position. He can play up front as well, but doesn't really seem to have what it takes to be too much of a impact player there. So we are seeing if he can get a little bit more proficient in this attack midfield position. With Briggs leaving, we will need someone else to cover there in case there is any issues to Gomez. So that's the thinking in trying to get him more used to there. He has scored a goal from that position. We've got another fantastic free kick taker in the squad, it seems. Callum Kessie's first goal for the club, and he found the top corner fantastically with this free kick. Round the wall, Singh had no chance of getting that one. And that really should wrap up this result. We will take Kessie off and bring on Abbey for the last few minutes. But really now, that should be this game comfortably won. And we just need to see how the team goes about seeing it out. If we can keep a clean sheet, that would be great. They haven't come around too much for us this season, so managing to keep one of them would be a nice little bonus for us. Boney getting the ball up the pitch and Martin with a chance to win it. He still wants a hat-trick as well. Maybe about 5 minutes left for him to get one, including the stoppage time. The Fudo on the right hand side, he can get forward and he can deliver a cross in. He's going to look for Martin in the box. Martin is there. He gets his head to the ball, but unfortunately not able to find the back of the net at this point. Bringing him back into the team today, he's performed really well and will be keeping his spot for the next game. Along with Sandat, another fantastic performance from him. He's just come in and led the line brilliantly for us. And that is a good win against a promotion rival and sets us up nicely for our remaining games. There is only a small gap between now and the next game against Buxton. Fortunately, that one is at home as well, so we don't have too much travelling to be concerned with. We are going to make sure the players are rested up and will be back for the match. Unsurprisingly, for that game against Buxton, we are going out with exactly the same team. Everyone's at full fitness, so we are going to hope they can just go out and carry on doing what they did in the last match. And it is a kick-off highlight, it seems. Buxton trying to get the ball forward. Smart on the left-hand side, plays it back to Brown. And again, Buxton just keeping the ball. Smart has broken through behind our defensive line. And that was very close to being a goal inside the opening 30 seconds. Just went wide, but it was a good little bit of play by Buxton. In recent weeks, it has seemingly fallen down the league. I think when we chose to play these games, they were up in those playoff places, but down in 12th now. So they are a team who's on a little bit of a poor run of form, just like we were. So we're going to hope that we can compile their misery a little bit more while making sure we put ourselves in a good little bit of form. The Fudo has picked up some pulled knee ligaments, so he is going to be coming off, and I will bring on Jed Abbey. That's the reason he's on the bench. His versatility is going to be key for us this season. Can play in a multitude of positions, so just being able to have him as an option in the squad is fantastic for us. Still no update on Solomon either at the back, so slight concern there. We do have a youth player in Lewis Lukeman who is in the squad who could play right back, but he's not quite ready for the first team squad, I don't think. So may need to look to bring in something additional there, but like we say, we are very limited in the wages that we can offer, so at the minute it's only the loan market which we can explore, and apart from Sandat, haven't really seen anyone who can offer great value to the squad. Tom Broadbent has got his first goal of the season though, putting that disappointing penalty miss in the last episode out of his mind and putting us 1-0 up against Buxton. It's a great ball in from Kessie. The change in formation has brought a lot more out of him as well. Obviously a little bit further up the pitch and a little bit more licence to get forward, and he's been really improving his output. I think that might be his second or third assist now since we've changed the formation. So it's nice to see him getting a little bit more involved. Poor defensive header from Jed Abbey there, and it allows Smart to cut inside and get an equaliser for Buxton. Obviously, we can still go ahead in the match, plenty of time, but we do need to be concerned. And like we say, that was a really poor defensive header there, and another instance where we're just putting ourselves under more pressure than we need to, and that is what is making us concede these goals. At half time now, we are just going to give the players a small dressing down in the changing rooms, let them know that we need to see more of them in the second half. And we do have an early opportunity with Kessie able to get a corner into the box. Hopefully going to look for Broadbent again, and he gets his header to the ball again and finds the back of the net. Broadbent looking for a hat-trick. Better hope we don't get a penalty, because he'll probably miss that one. But if we have another corner and another chance for Kessie to whip the ball till that far post, Broadbent is lethal there. The second time we've put the corner to the back post and he's been able to get up above his man and get it into the back of the net. Smith now plays it to Sandat, and he's looking for another goal from outside the box. This one not quite as accurate as his last attempt and went over the bar. And his influence on this game hasn't been the same as what it has been in the other matches. Still time for him to get a goal. He was playing very poorly in the game against Brackley before he brought that goal out of absolutely nowhere. So I know that he can bring something out of nothing. And another opportunity there. Abbey playing the ball into the box and Gomez not quite able to find the back of the net. We do have a lot of players tiring now and only 2 substitutions left to make. We'll bring off Smith again once more, simply because he's had a couple of injury issues. And I think as well I'm going to bring on Blair Adams in place of Simpson at left back, just making sure the defence is as fit as we can possibly keep them, to make sure we can withstand any potential of Buxton attacks in these last few moments. Broadbent, obviously the second player of the day we've had on a hat-trick, would be a very unlikely hat-trick scorer, but what a story it would be if he could get one today. It is Michael Woods now playing it in Hassani. He gets the ball forward to Martin, and that's a fantastic strike from Martin. First time outside of the box, and again it's a chance for us, which is cannoned off the underside of the crossbar before finding its way into the back of the net. Good ball by Hassani, but the first time shot from Martin, oh, that was absolutely delightful. That cements us in those playoff spots. Very, very close between 4th and 8th place in this league. And we're going to have to make sure that we are competitive. We are into that 4th place now. 29 points for us, 4 points behind Chorley ahead of us. But I think that might be definitely the first time in a while we've got 2 wins on the bounce. So really happy to see that, and maybe it's a sign that form is just starting to turn around a little bit. If we do have a look at the results, 3 wins on the bounce now actually, and what turnaround this could be for us. We have needed a little bit of inspiration in the squad. The change in formation seems to be working quite well. Obviously, it's taken the players a little bit of time to get familiar with it, but now that they are getting familiar with it, they are really putting in some good performances. I think the arrival of Sandat as well has helped. He has just brought an extra little bit of presence up front. Doesn't look like a great player by any stretch of the imagination, but compared to the players in our squad, he's really been fantastic. And we haven't paid him any wages yet. Hull are covering all of those, so really winning in that situation. The Fudu is going to be out for 3 weeks now. Abbey will be getting a little bit of an extended run in the team, and we are just going to drop a little bit of praise on Broadbent for his goal scoring shenanigans in that last match. Looking ahead though, probably going to get through the rest of November, and I may actually do December as well. We only have 4 games then, but we'll come back for that first game against Blythe and then that game against Warrington as well. And with the transfer window opening at that point, we could see some of the bigger teams come in for some of our players, and I'm hopeful by that point as well the squad will be looking slightly different, and we'll have a few extra players over the line to help bolster this charge up the league. So please make sure to drop a like on that video if you have enjoyed that. Comment down below whether you think we can sustain this improvement in form, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel to keep up with the save. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.